starts with a man suddenly waking up from a terrifying nightmare. In the dream, a woman in a veil gives him a USB drive, but then he gets shot in the head. He wakes up gasping for breath, sitting up in bed with a racing heart. As he calms down, the scene shifts to Armenia, where we meet Junior. His morning is simple and routine. He works out, takes a quick shower, and eats a basic breakfast in his neat and minimalistic apartment, reflecting his organized life. When Junior steps outside, he's greeted by the usual noisy city sounds. He notices a man arguing with his wife and his daughter, but he pays little attention as it's something he often sees. He heads to his car, an old but reliable sedan, and stops by a nearby cafe. The smell of freshly brewed coffee fills the air as he picks up 2 cups, giving a silent nod to the barista. Holding the warm cups, he enjoys a brief moment before continuing to the auto repair shop where he spends his day fixing and maintaining cars. At the shop, Junior focuses on his work, carefully repairing cars and tuning engines. His boss, Paul, arrives and jokes about the coffee possibly being poisoned. Junior, unfazed, reassures him that the coffee is fine and stays at his desk, lightly warning Paul to keep the jokes mild. Paul laughs it off, saying life is short, so you should drink all the coffee you can. Their playful banter continues throughout the day, mixing with the sounds of tools and machines in the shop. As the day ends, Paul asks Junior about his plans for the evening. Junior, with a mysterious smile, hints that he's going to enjoy his real vice, playfully quoting an old saying about life being short and drinking all the liquor you can. Paul pretends to be worried, but Junior's calm demeanor hides a deeper complexity. Junior's life had become a routine of working and then spending his evenings at his favorite bar. However, one day, something familiar catches his eye at the restaurant. He sees the mother and daughter from his building, usually seen arguing, now sitting peacefully together. Curious, Junior decides to eat at the restaurant for the first time and sits near the young girl, who is busy drawing Superman in her worn sketchbook. He warmly compliments her drawings and starts a conversation about her favorite superhero. The girl eagerly talks about how much she admires Superman's strength and his dedication to helping others, expressing her hope that maybe one day he could save them too. Moved by the girl's hopeful spirit, Junior quietly advises the mother to keep faith, saying that divine help comes to those who help themselves. He then gives the girl a book from his back, a small gesture to show the importance of hope and resilience. After this brief moment, Junior leaves the restaurant feeling lighter than he has in a long time. This encounter makes him think about changing his routine, which had become too centered around alcohol. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world in India, the lively streets of a market hide darker intentions. A gang secretly follows a car through the busy market, blending in with the crowd of vendors and shoppers. Among this lively scene, Harry, a friend of Junior's, plays a heartfelt tune on his instrument. Nearby, a young girl named Jessica and her mother step out of a shop. Jessica spots a unicorn toy and excitedly runs towards it. The market is full of energy, with an elderly man browsing books at a stall. But suddenly, the gang's violent plan unfolds, and gunshots shatter the peace, causing panic among the people. The violence claims Jessica's life and injures her mother. The gunfire harms both gang members and innocent bystanders. The gang is surprised by unexpected resistance. One member is killed and another is injured, forcing them to flee through the narrow alleys, leaving behind a scene of tragedy. The media quickly covers the horrific event at Prime Hub Market, focusing on the innocent lives lost, including the 7-year-old girl. The mystery around the identities of the mother and daughter and their connection to the violence grabs the public's attention and sympathy. News channels widely share the mother's image, asking for information that might explain their involvement in the tragic event. During the investigation, a shocking revelation shakes both the criminal world and the authorities. The mother and daughter, previously thought to be dead, are actually alive. The injured woman is identified as Samara, Junior's wife, and it's confirmed that the young victim was his daughter. The police then realize who Junior really is, a former illegal undercover soldier known for his brutality. His daughter had been the only thing keeping his aggressive side in check. Now that she's gone, there's a growing fear that Junior will seek revenge with all his might, leading the authorities to brace for the worst. As the investigation progresses, a suspicious phone call is traced back to Armenia, giving the case an international angle. Overcome with grief and driven by a need for justice, Junior turns himself in while in Armenia, demanding to be sent to India to uncover the truth about what happened to his family. During harsh interrogations, he is haunted by memories of better times, his engagement to Samara, her pregnancy, and his decision to leave the military, which indirectly led to his current troubles, causing his pain to grow even deeper. In a deeply emotional moment, Junior attends his daughter's funeral, which only strengthens his resolve to seek justice. On his way to court, he seizes an unexpected chance to escape, overpowering the guards and disappearing into the city. He reunites with Harry, his loyal friend, and together they return to his old home, now just a sad reminder of his lost happiness. There, Junior begins to piece together the clues about the attack, realizing that the gang was not responsible for his daughter's death. With Harry's help, he uncovers the shocking truth. The sub-inspector who was supposed to protect Rajesh Sharma, the main target, had instead taken a bribe, failed in his duty, and ended up killing Rajesh himself. The sub-inspector's confession reveals the deeper level of corruption, pointing to Hawa Singh as the mastermind behind the scheme. Armed with this crucial information, Junior prepares to confront those responsible, driven by a relentless need for justice that overpowers his deep sorrow and sense of betrayal. When Hawa Singh learns of the inspector's death, he insists that the Shiv Puja ceremony continue without interruption, unaware that Junior is on his way. Determined to face Singh and expose the truth, Junior and Harry infiltrate the ceremony, quickly overpowering Singh's guards in a fierce fight. They corner Hawa amid the chaos, demanding answers. Singh, however, taunts Junior and reveals a shocking truth. The real mastermind behind the plot is Edward Cologne from Georgia. Singh explains that Cologne's son became infatuated with an Indian girl, leaving Cologne's brother to manipulate events, which eventually resulted in the kidnapping and tragedies that affected Junior's family. Even as Singh provides evidence to support his claims, Junior, overwhelmed by his desire for justice, kills Singh, driven by an unyielding need to bring closure to his painful journey. As the hunt for Junior escalates, the police, under intense public pressure, take extreme measures. They manipulate the media, portraying Junior as a dangerous criminal responsible for the prime hub market tragedy. This false narrative quickly spreads, further isolating Junior. Meanwhile, in the midst of this turmoil, Samara returns home, only to find Junior waiting for her. Their reunion is filled with sadness, overshadowed by the tragic events that have occurred. With a heavy heart, Junior reveals that he cannot stay, which breaks Samara's heart. She recalls how their daughter Jessica longed for her father's return, a wish now overshadowed by the darkness that has taken over his life. Through tears, Samara asks Junior, her voice filled with sorrow and determination, to make sure that when he confronts their enemies, his revenge is complete. She insists that he make them beg for mercy before he ends their lives, showing the deep pain and desire for retribution that consumes her. After this emotional moment with Samara, Junior leaves for Georgia with his loyal friend Ajay. Ajay, a devoted father to his daughter Sarah, welcomes Junior into their home. Sarah quickly grows fond of Junior, and they share playful moments before she falls asleep. In the quiet that follows, Junior confides in Ajay about his mission for revenge, revealing that Edward is the mastermind behind his family's suffering. Ajay, who knows about Cologne's infamous crimes, including arms dealing and human trafficking, warns Junior about the serious dangers ahead. Despite the risks, Ajay pledges his unwavering support, reminding Junior of their strong bond as former allies. Back in India, the police intensify their search for Junior, arresting his mentor, a key figure from his past, who is now caught in the police's net. During questioning, the mentor describes Junior as a relentless and powerful enemy, driven not by the need to survive, but by a deep desire for revenge. He paints a picture of Junior as a man consumed by grief and rage, capable of extreme violence beyond ordinary comprehension. In Georgia, Junior carefully executes his plan, starting by eliminating Edward's brother to provoke the hidden mastermind. Furious over the daring assassination, Edward orders a swift and brutal response. He sends his men to carry out a cruel act, kidnapping AJ's beloved daughter, Sarah, from their home. Despite the growing dangers, Junior launches a daring mission to confront Edward directly. However, his bold infiltration into Edward's heavily guarded fortress ends with him being captured. In a tense showdown with Edward, Junior remains firm, even under intense pressure. Edward tries to control the situation by using Sarah as a bargaining tool. However, Junior has a plan of his own. He has captured Edward's son, Michael, turning the tables and making the situation even more dangerous. The standoff becomes a tense exchange of hostages and demands as both sides struggle to gain the upper hand. The tension rises as Junior cleverly escapes with Sarah, leading to a relentless chase by Edward's men through a secluded cabin in the wilderness. After securing Sarah in a car, Junior transforms the cabin into a deadly fortress. Using his military skills, he sets traps that take out many of Edward's men. But when Edward and the remaining attackers find where Sarah is hidden, Junior steps out of hiding, fueled by his love for his daughter and his promise to get revenge. He confronts Edward's men with fierce determination, turning the cabin into a battlefield where he fights with unmatched strength and skill to protect Sarah. Once Sarah is safe and handed over to the police, Junior chooses to stay in the isolated cabin, silently observing the chaos caused by his quest for justice. Meanwhile, in India, the media closely follows Junior's story, with some questioning whether he is a cold-blooded killer or a grieving father driven to the edge in his search for justice. The authorities believe that Junior, considered dangerous and guilty, would never dare return to India. But Samara, confident and determined, speaks out to the media, insisting that Junior will return. She is certain of this because she knows the depth of his love for their daughter and has unwavering faith in him. As Samara predicted, Junior returns to India, undeterred by the serious accusations and the turmoil that follows him. His journey for revenge has been costly, leaving behind a trail of violence and shattered lives. However, it has also sparked hope among his most loyal supporters. Junior is prepared to face the consequences of his actions, motivated by his enduring love for his daughter and a deep grief that still haunts him. His fight is not over, and though the battle ahead is uncertain, he remains strong, ready for whatever comes next. He is driven by a father's unyielding desire for justice and the hope of clearing his name. So the moral of the story is, never trust a USB from a mysterious lady in a dream. Next thing you know, you're fighting crime across continents with a cup of coffee and a grudge.